We'd like to welcome you to BeMoreNews.com, the news before the news, where we uncover the truth. We're at the home of the one and only Wayne Frazier, president of the Maryland-Washington Minority Contractors Association. Hello, sir. How are you?
Good morning.
There is a statewide election coming up in 2010, a citywide election coming up in the following year. Is minority business a priority for the candidates?
Well, if it isn't, it should be, because in Maryland, the minorities, particularly African Americans, make up 33% of the vote, and Baltimore City and Prince George's County together have the largest number of registered minority businesses per capita in the nation. So it should be.
With the stimulus package that President Barack Obama has authored and put together, are we seeing black businesses benefit?
Donnie, that's a tough question, because from the perspective that I see, very few minority businesses and even fewer African American owned businesses are benefiting. And my belief is that because the stimulus money priority was placed on transportation, roads, bridges, so forth, that particular segment of construction, we have probably the smallest number of minority representation, in particular African American representation. And then it went to health care, very few, no black hospitals, health care facilities, so forth. And then it went to development projects. And we have very few minority developers, particularly African American developers, with projects shovel ready, and that's what they were looking for, shovel ready projects.
Friday, it was reported in the Baltimore Sun that a Baltimore group did not succeed in gaining equity ownership in the Baltimore slots deal. Was that so?
Well, again, according to some of the media outlets that I reviewed, reports came out Thursday afternoon that the Site Location Selection Committee, headed by Don Fry, rejected the Baltimore's bid. As I understand, this was their fourth time seeking an extension, and I guess they weren't convincing.
And today, there is a bus trip to Annapolis with respect to Arundel Mills and slots.
Yes, huge. It's a huge vote coming up. It begins at 6 p.m. tonight in the Honorable Chambers of Anne Arundel County Council, where for the last 6 months they've been, I wouldn't say stalemate, they just didn't come to a decision on whether to zone in, and that's the concern, zoning for Arundel Mills to develop a casino there. And I understand that the new selection on the county council, there was a recent election for mayor in Annapolis, and one of the county council members, I think his name is Josh Cohen, won. If you recall, that was against Zena Pierre in that controversial race there. And then he had to be replaced, and the council voted last week to replace him with another gentleman. I believe his name is Miller. And no. Miller is the African American. He was the one that didn't get voted in. It's a fellow by the name of Fiera. He was voted in, and he said publicly that he was going to vote in favor of slots at Arundel Mills. And so that gave him 3 votes, and I think one more perhaps will be scratched out. And then just on Friday evening, I saw a report where Speaker of the House, Mike Bush, had promised that there would be a positive vote tonight.
Will blacks benefit from a business perspective as a result of slots coming to Maryland?
Only if the state of Maryland, through the auspices of the Governor's Office of Minority Affairs, headed by Special Secretary LaWanda Jenkins, puts a heavy foot and it carries a big bat. If not, we as black folk, African Americans, will fail once again.
Final question. The Maryland General Assembly is about to kick off. What are the priorities as it relates to black business, or what ought to be the priorities as it relates to black business?
Well, I've been hearing of various bills from around the state, notably Montgomery County, Prince George's County, Baltimore City. But the one bill that I will work on and vehemently support for our members and for minority business in general is the bill that Delegate Michael Vaughn out of Prince George's County will introduce early in the session, called inclusion on loans and grants that the state of Maryland either gives or lends to a project or to a municipality. In essence, it's about $1.2 billion. That was last year. It may be less this year with the economy shrinking. But those monies go into the developer, or goes to a museum like the Walters or the Baltimore Museum of Art, or to some of these nonprofits that are huge, that run multi-billion-dollar budgets. It goes to municipalities like Washington County, Garrett County, close to us, Anne Arundel County, which doesn't have a minority plan. If any of those jurisdictions, developments, or businesses receive, I believe the threshold is $250,000, they must open up their inclusion to minority business inclusion. And that's huge. That means that we can attach any dollar that grant money attaches to any project. That project is open up to the state's 25% minimum goal. It's huge. And it should have been passed years ago, but I believe we have the votes this time around in both the House and the Senate to have this approved.
Thank you for your time, Mr. Frazier. Any final thoughts?
Yes. On this whole gaming situation, the other way that minorities can participate in this is if the state, principally Maryland Lottery, which controls gaming, if they don't allow other non-certified MBEs to participate in gaming, because there is one NAIS code, that's the North American Standard Industry Code, that gaming that affects gaming statewide, nationwide. And if they allow other businesses to participate, minority-owned businesses to participate in this without having that particular NAIS code, North American Standard Industry Code, then it would create a forest to the whole program. That one code will make businesses money in this industry.
Good deal.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time. Mr. Wayne Frazier, President of the Maryland Washington Minority Contractors Association. Keep watching BeMoreNews.com, the news before the news, where we uncover the truth.